It was a cloudy Saturday morning, the kind of day when the world felt slow, heavy, and cold. Little Alina stood in front of the mirror in her small bedroom, her tiny hands carefully holding the ribbon her mother had given her. She was dressed in a light blue frock that had little white flowers embroidered along the hem, the one her mom had worked overtime to buy. It was supposed to be a happy day. Today was her 8th birthday. Her mom had baked a cake late last night after returning from her shift at the diner. A few balloons were taped to the cracked wall, and a single banner that read "Happy Birthday Alina" was hanging slightly crooked above the table. But despite all of this, Alina's smile didn't quite reach her eyes. She stood there, looking at herself in the mirror, and in a soft voice almost like a secret, she whispered, "I wish Dad could see me now." Her mom, Maria, heard her from the doorway. She froze. Those words cut deeper than any knife could. Maria had worked tirelessly to shield her daughter from the pain of losing her father, but no matter how hard she tried, she couldn't erase the emptiness in Alina's heart. Alina's dad, Daniel, had been gone for 3 years. The military had sent a letter, just a cold, formal notification that his helicopter had gone down in a remote area. No body was ever recovered. Maria had cried herself to sleep for months, but she knew she couldn't collapse completely. She had a little girl who depended on her. And yet, days like this, birthdays, school events, made the absence feel unbearable. Maria walked into the room, forcing a smile, and said, "Sweetheart, you look beautiful. Your dad would be so proud of you." But Alina shook her head slowly. "He doesn't even know I'm 8 now." There was no arguing with that kind of truth. Later, family friends began to arrive. A couple of neighbors came, bringing small gifts wrapped in colorful paper. Alina politely said thank you, but her eyes kept drifting toward the door as if she half expected her dad to walk in, wearing his army jacket and that crooked grin she remembered so vividly. The cake was brought out. Candles flickered. Everyone sang "Happy Birthday." And when it came time to make a wish, Alina closed her eyes and whispered the same thing again, this time a little louder, "I wish Dad could see me now." The room went silent for a moment. Maria pretended to laugh it off, but inside, her heart shattered all over again. That night, after the guests had gone and the balloons had started to sag, Maria found Alina sitting on her bed, holding a photograph of her dad in uniform. "Mom," she asked quietly, "what if Dad is out there somewhere? What if he just can't find us?" Maria felt tears threaten, but she stayed calm. "Sometimes, sweetheart, people leave and we don't know why. But love always stays." She kissed her forehead, but deep down, Maria wondered the same thing her daughter had just asked. And she had no idea that the truth and a miracle was closer than she could imagine. Chapter 2. 3 weeks after that birthday, life went back to its quiet rhythm. School, homework, Maria's shifts, simple dinners. But one rainy afternoon, as Alina sat by the window drawing with her crayons, there was a knock at the door. Maria wiped her hands on a towel and opened it and froze. A tall man stood there, rain dripping from his jacket. His beard was a little overgrown, his eyes tired, but unmistakable. "Maria," he said in a voice that cracked. She dropped the towel, her lips trembling. "Daniel?" For a second, neither of them moved. Then, as if time collapsed, Maria ran into his arms. He held her tightly, his body shaking. "I tried to come sooner," he whispered. "I've been alive, Maria. I was trapped, captured. But I made it back." Tears streamed down her face. "Alina, she thinks you're gone." That's when Alina appeared in the hallway, holding her stuffed bear. Her eyes widened, her mouth fell open. "Daddy?" The next second, she was running, her little arms wrapping around his waist. Daniel fell to his knees and hugged her, burying his face in her hair. "Look at you," he said, his voice breaking. 8 years old. "I missed so much." Alina pulled back just enough to look him in the eyes. "Daddy," she whispered, "I wished you could see me now." Daniel swallowed hard, tears blurring his vision. "I heard you, baby. Somehow, I think I heard you." That night, the small home was filled with laughter for the first time in years. Daniel told them stories about survival, about holding on to hope when it seemed impossible. Maria couldn't stop looking at him, part of her still afraid he might disappear again. But as the hours passed, she realized something: this was real. He was here. And maybe wishes did come true. A month later, Alina's school held a family day event. She wore her blue frock again, but this time, as she stood on stage for her part in the play, she scanned the crowd until her eyes found him. Her dad was there, clapping and smiling, tears shining in his eyes. Alina's heart swelled. She had dreamed of this moment for years. And now, as she stood there, she didn't have to whisper her wish anymore. It had already come true. Her story, their story, became a reminder to everyone who heard it: never stop believing, never stop loving, and never stop hoping. Because sometimes, when the world is ready, miracles walk right up to your door. And if you're hearing this now, remember, life can change when you least expect it. Keep believing, keep hoping, and keep your heart open. And if this story touched you, don't forget to subscribe to the channel, because there are so many more stories that will inspire you, break your heart, and put it back together again. Your next miracle might just be one click away.